Good morning.
Morning.
Chattooga Baptist Church. Welcome. This morning in Sunday morning Bible study, we had 39 in attendance and 26 contacts. Last week we had 30 and 26 contacts. We had the same amount of contacts last week. Let's try to double those contacts this week. Whoever you come in contact with, remember to invite them to Sunday school and church. Has anybody ever heard Lead Like Jesus? Anybody ever heard of that? Lead Like Jesus. It's been out for a while. It's a leadership model developed by Ken Blanchard and Philip Hodges. I've heard about it at work. Anyway, I'll tell you this story first. There was Google did a study, and they took 699 people, and they broke them into 152 teams. And they took those teams, the way they developed the teams was they give all 699 people an IQ test. And they put the ones that scored the highest on this IQ test, they put them all on the same teams together, and they took average IQ people, like me. They put us on teams, right? So half the people were the high IQs, the other people were average IQs. So they give every one of these teams the exact same project to do. Who do you think did better? The people with the average IQ. Why do you think that is?
Common sense.
Well, you're right. The people that are the high IQs on the teams, the people with the average IQ actually excelled at the project. The people with the high IQs, they didn't do too good. More than likely because they were lone rangers, right? Everybody was in there fighting on who was the best and who had the best idea and do it like I want to do it and stuff. So I thought that was pretty neat. Well, the moral of that story is teamwork trumps talent any day of the week. And it's the same thing here. It's not going to be a lone ranger. It's going to take all of us, right? It's going to take all of us going out and inviting people to church. And everybody's searching for something, right? It's up to us to tell them what we know is true. So anyway, this model, just so you're interested, the model organizes Christ-like leadership into four domains: the heart, the hands, the head, and the habits. The heart, leader's character. The leader's character, what his motives are and his identity. The head, the leader's beliefs, the vision, and their values. The hands, the leader's actions, behaviors, and method. And the habits, the spiritual disciplines such as prayer, solitude, and how much scripture they read. So anyway, let's go out this week. Let's invite, encourage, and share. Let's do it as a team. How about that?
Amen.
Okay, there's no birthdays. Any birthdays this week that's not in the bulletin?
You did it for last week. I wasn't.
Any anniversaries? You got one?
Lacey and I were married 25 years yesterday.
Oh,
Right.
happy anniversary. Okay. We're gonna sing. Y'all ready? You don't have to sing, we're gonna sing. Okay, y'all ready? Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, God bless you. Happy anniversary to you.
Love y'all, Joe.
Y'all pray for the choir as we sing.
That's just anyway.
rejoice, all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide, and trembles at his voice, and trembles at his voice. How great is our God! Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God. Age to age he stands, and time is in his hands, beginning and the end, beginning and the end. The Godhead three in one, Father, Spirit, Son, the Lion and the Lamb, the Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God! Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God. Name above all names, worthy of all praise. My heart will sing, how great is our God. Name above all names, worthy of all praise. My heart will sing, how great is our God. How great is our God! Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God. How great is our God! Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you here. We want to go over the announcements this morning. Today, as you well know, is the last day for the Shoes for Orphan Souls. So hopefully you have brought those in, and I'm sure they're going to be packing them up here pretty soon and be taking them, of course, to the drop-off place. But we thank you for giving, and you know, the child may never know where the shoes come from, who bought them, or anything else, but the Lord knows, and He's a rewarder for all that you do to further His kingdom. And so I'm sure they're needed, no doubt, and will be appreciated when they get them. But us also, like today is the last day. Welcome our new members next Sunday after our worship service. We're having lunch, and the sign-up sheet for that is out in the vestibule. And if you're a new member, We want you to be here next Sunday, and I'm talking about within the last year. And so we'll try to keep this going, and hopefully we'll gain new members every year. And in fact, hopefully we'll get so many, we'll have to do this every 6 months, and get so many, we'll have to do it every 3 months, and then get so many, we have to do it every month. So you can always hope. Look for the best, of course. But all of our members sign up. I mean, who else would welcome a new member to the church but the members of the church? I mean, if the members of the church didn't welcome me as a new member, I'd sign out, not sign up. But all of you, please come and be a part of that lunch next Sunday, and let's welcome these new ones that have joined the church by baptism and so forth, and just let them know that we're glad that they're a part of our fellowship. Food pantry item for this month, pork and beans or money. Wednesday evening, the adult Bible study at the fellowship hall from 6:30 to 8. At the same time, here at the church, the youth and the children will be doing their activities. So please remember those things. Tuesday the 25th, which is this Tuesday, is Silver Saints. It says they're having potluck, and they have a sign-up sheet in the vestibule. So please remember that, those of you that want to be a part of that and come and be a part of that. You don't even have to be a senior. And evidently you don't even have to be a saint. But it does help. Or otherwise a fight would break out. But if you're not busy Tuesday at 12 o'clock, lunchtime, come and be a part of that. And there'll be something there you'll like, I'll guarantee you. So if nothing else, the entertainment. But remember that Tuesday. Any other announcements?
I need the ladies to sign up for September the 19th so I can get all the supplies ordered.
Okay, if you have not signed up, the sign-up sheet is in the vestibule.
It is.
There's 3 back there, okay? 3 of them. Go ahead and sign up. Put your name on all 3. That way, you'll have every base covered. You won't be signing up for the wrong thing if you sign up for everything. Any other announcement? We want to remind you we have church membership handbooks. If you'd like to have one, please let us know so that we can get you one. And interesting read, and so a lot of information you may not even know you can find there. Anything else before we continue on? Okay, let's all stand and take a hymnal, and let's sing our congregational song together.
145 if you want to look.
What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine, leaning on the everlasting
each other as the choir comes down this morning, if you would. This morning we're going to talk about a subject that nobody likes to think about. Nobody wants it to cross our mind. Hopefully not that you're dreading it, but that it's such a eye-opener as to what is in the future for some people. This morning I want to talk to you on the subject of hell. And you don't hear a lot about that. You can hear a lot about how to be a millionaire, and how to be prosperous, and how to have the Lord answer your prayers, and how to live a Christian life, but sometimes we don't hear very much anymore about hell. A lot about heaven. But a couple of Wednesday nights ago, in the book of Daniel, we were talking about, or made a point or something, I don't remember. And there was some discussion about hell and what it was and all of that, and so on and so forth. So I decided we'd just take a few moments this morning to go over some of the things. In the book, well, let me give you a head start. Turn in your Bibles to the book of Genesis, chapter 37, and we'll read verse 35 to begin with. Now keep your Bible handy and keep your fingers handy, because we're going to be turning pretty quickly from one to the other. As we were saying in the Old Testament, the Hebrew word that we're talking about is Sheol. That's the word for hell in the Old Testament, in the Hebrew language. And a lot of times in the Old Testament, when Sheol is used, the interpreters would interpret it to say, or translate it into the word hell, or they would translate it to grave, the grave, or the pit, P-I-T, the pit. And actually what Sheol is the place of the departed souls. Sheol was a place where the righteous and the unrighteous would go after death. So it didn't make any difference whether you were righteous or you were an unbeliever and unrighteous before God, you went to Sheol, as interpreted, as we said many times, as hell. Now, there in Genesis 37 and verse 35, just a background of understanding, Jacob had been told by his sons that Joseph was dead. They brought in his coat covered in blood and said, "We found this, and no doubt Joseph, your favorite son, has been torn apart by wild animals, and no doubt he's dead." And of course, the real truth was they sold him into captivity. And so Jacob was all tore up about losing his favorite son. And this is what he said. In fact, verse 35 tells us that all of his sons and all of his daughters, they rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted. He was all tore up about Joseph's death. It said, and he said, this is what Jacob said, "I will go down into the grave." The word grave here is Sheol. "Unto my son mourning." Thus his father wept for him. Now, we would consider Jacob, of course, as being a righteous man. And certainly Joseph, his son, and all of the story of Joseph, as being a righteous man. So evidently we find his father knows that he's in Sheol, and excuse me, Jacob said, I want to die, go to Sheol where my favorite son Jacob is, so that I can be with him. Now also, I want you to turn to Numbers chapter 16 and verse 30. Here we have a totally different situation. Here we have a situation dealing with Korah. Remember Korah? He was the fellow that tried to rise up with his followers to take over leadership of Israel. As they come out across the wilderness, they tried to put Moses out of the leadership business, which God put Moses in. He didn't want the job. God called him to do it, put him there to do it. And Korah and his bunch wanted to take all this power away from Moses. And, you know, they did it very calmly. They told him, Moses, you're just doing too much. You've got too much on you. Let us come and help you out. And really, they were wanting to take over. And they were wanting to be the leader instead of Moses. And so he got a lot of people to follow after him. And so we find that here in Numbers chapter 16 and verse 30, it says this, but if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up, with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit. The word pit here is Sheol. Then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord. So we have a story of Jacob as being a righteous man and going to Sheol. And you have the story of Korah, who had provoked the Lord, who we would think would be an unrighteous man, the ground opening up and swallowing him, and him falling, and his followers falling into Sheol. So you have the righteous going to Sheol, you have the unrighteous going to Sheol. But we know definitely that what these two groups experience in Sheol is not the same. Now the word in the New Testament for Sheol is Hades. That's Greek. Hades is the word. Hebrew is Sheol. But they're talking about the same place. Okay? They're the same thing. And a couple of familiar stories. Look at Luke chapter 23 and verse 43. This is the story of the thief on the cross. You probably don't even need to turn there. You know exactly what was said. In Luke chapter 23 and verse 23, it says, and Jesus said unto him, the thief on the cross, verily I say unto thee, today shalt thou be with me in paradise. The word for paradise is Hades. So we find that here that Jesus is talking about the righteous side. Of course, Jesus wouldn't be going to the unrighteous side in his death. And this repentant thief going to the righteous side of Sheol, or as it is here in the Greek, Hades. Now the best example is given in Luke chapter 16, verse 19 through verse 31. That is the story of Lazarus and the rich man. You know it inside and out. In verse 23, this is what it says about the rich man. It said, in hell he lifted up his eyes. The word hell here is Hades. Being in torments, plural, and seeing Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. Paradise. Abraham's bosom is also known is paradise, or the righteous side of Hades, Sheol. Making sense? Remember, there's a great gulf fixed. There's two divisions at that time in Hades. Hades is interpreted the word many times, hell, but you really have to look it up to see what it means. You have to look up and see what it, every hell that's mentioned in the Bible is not the same place. It's just interpreted. The Greek is interpreted to English to the word hell, but it's not the same place. So you have to go back and look and to make sure, is it talking about Hades or is it talking about somewhere else? But he lifted up his eyes in Hades, and being in torment, seeing Lazarus afar off in Abraham's bosom. Now what is Abraham's bosom? Well, it was paradise, but it is a phrase that was used. You remember when they would eat, they would lie at the table. They didn't sit in chairs. They would lay down probably on their side and lean on one elbow. That kind of lounging around the table, and they would eat. That's what they were doing in the upper room when it talked about John, the beloved, leaning upon the breast of Jesus. And so you have a table, and you have one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. And so every one would lap the other one. Or they would turn straight at the table and their feet straight out. But usually they lap like this at an angle from the table. Everyone on that side, of course, would angle the same way. And so if the first one was laying that way, the second one could just lean back and put his head on his chest. That's what John did. And that's the picture of what he's talking about as he's in a place of leaning upon the chest of Abraham. It is a picture, not a literal thing, but a picture. It's a picture of rest and peace. So when it says that he saw him in would-be paradise, Abraham's bosom, the righteous side of Hades, and he's leaning against the chest or the lap of Abraham, he's at peace and at rest there in the righteous side of Hades. So all these three are the same place. Hell, Hades, paradise, Abraham's bosom, and the Hebrew Sheol. But they're divided into two compartments. Get that from Lazarus and the rich man. We understand that. Now when Jesus died on the cross, and while his body was buried in that tomb, he descended into Hades, which is the righteous side. In Acts chapter 2 and verse 27, it says, because thou wilt not leave my soul in hell. The word hell here is Hades. Neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. Now this is a repeat of what David said about Jesus in the Psalms, in Psalm 16:10. In fact, no use in reading it because it's exactly the same words that are written there that Peter said in Acts chapter 2 and verse 27. They're exactly the same words. But the word hell in Psalms is the word Sheol, because it's written in Hebrew. Same wording, same verse, but a change. Sheol Hades in the new, which tells us definitely these two places are exactly the same place. It's just a different name because of a different language. And then after he descended into hell, into Sheol, into Hades, the righteous side, the side Lazarus was on, the side Jacob was going to die and go to. When he ascended into heaven, according to Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 8, listen, it says, wherefore he saith, when he ascended up on high, when he ascended up to God the Father, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. So he went to the righteous side, to paradise, Abraham's bosom, Hades, and he preached. And all those there that were waiting, who had believed and trusted God, and lived a righteous life, living God, or following God, I should say, were then set free by him, and he escorted them into the presence of God. Now they could not, and I've told this 1,000 times, they could not, when they died, go into the presence of God before the sacrifice for sin, the ultimate sacrifice, was paid. Their sins were not forgiven until Jesus died. Yes, they were righteous. Yes, they were on the righteous side of Hades. But they could not go into heaven until their sin debt was paid. No sin can stand before God. So God prepared a place, the righteous side, the paradise, the Abraham's bosom, for those who, after the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross, could then heaven be opened up and they could ascend into the presence of God, their sins forgiven, washed away by the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ, and not before. So this leading captivity captive means that he emptied out, very simply, emptied out the righteous side of Hades. The price for sin had been paid. Now they could go into God's presence. This is what Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 4. He said, how that he was caught up into paradise, and heard unspeakable words which is not lawful for a man to utter. Paul was caught up into the third heaven. Paul was caught up into the presence of God, the third heaven. Our atmosphere is first, space is the second, God's presence, his heaven, is the third. Paul said he ascended up into the presence of God. Jesus told the thief, thou shalt be with me in paradise, which was in Hades, in the heart of the earth. He led captivity captive. Here Paul says paradise now is in heaven, in the presence of God. The word paradise here means a garden. It's literally the word for garden. And what the point that it is making is, it's heaven is like the Garden of Eden before there was ever any sin, before Adam failed, which tells us it was heaven. So now, we're down to two choices. It's either heaven or Hades. Hell. You're going to go one direction or the other. going to ascend anymore into paradise. Paradise had been moved to heaven with the souls that were there as well. Let's see if we can cover one other place. In 2 Peter. 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 4. This is what it says, "For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell." The word hell here is not Hades. It's Tartarus. It's a whole different place. It's not hell. It's not Hades. It's not Sheol. It certainly isn't heaven. It's Tartarus. Now these are the angels that have sinned against God. Remember when Satan rebelled against God? He was going to take over. And what was it? The third of the angels went with him. All of those rebelled against God. Satan and these angels, one day, they're going to be judged. But now, a part of those angels are reserved in Tartarus. Not every angel that fell with Satan is loose on this earth. There's just enough of them, which is too many. But they're in Tartarus. The word Tartarus means, in the Greek, it means a deep hole. And many times it is interpreted in our Bible as the bottomless pit, or as here, as being hell. It's talked about many times in the book of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 9, in verse 1 through verse 4, this is what it says. "And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit. There arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and upon them was given power, as the locusts of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass or the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their forehead." Verse 5, we might as well read that. "And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man." These, as John describes them, like scorpions, come out of this bottomless pit. Another name for the bottomless pit is not only Tartarus, but the abyss. You ever heard of the abyss? Let's read Revelation chapter 20, verse 1 through verse 3. We'll find it again. Revelation 21 through 3. "And I saw an angel come down from heaven having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So this is the beginning of the millennium after the second coming of Christ, him setting his kingdom up on this earth. Satan will be caught and bound and changed and thrown into the abyss, the bottomless pit, Tartarus. Not into Hades, not into Sheol, into the bottomless pit. Now let's go all the way back, if you would like to the book of Luke, chapter 8. In Luke chapter 8, I want us to look at verse 31, but in Luke chapter 8, we have the story of, remember Jesus casting the demons out of the maniac, and casting them, the demon said, put us in those swine. Jesus cast those demons, commanded them to go into the swine. The swine ran off, lost their mind, and went off the cliff into the sea. This is what one of the demons that possessed this man before Jesus commanded them to the swine, this is what he told Jesus. The demon said to Jesus in verse 31, and they besought him that he would not command to go out into the deep. The word deep here is the same as the bottomless pit. The abyss. So these demons asked Jesus before, hey, put us in those swine, command us to go in those. You didn't come. They were scared to death. You didn't come to put us in the abyss, the bottomless pit. Did you command us to go there? Did you? You're not going to do that to us. What is the abyss? What is the bottomless pit? It's a place of confinement for evil spirits, is what it is. Anytime you read about the abyss, it's going to be evil spirits that are put there, confined there, or as we read there in Revelation chapter 9, those locusts that come out. What do you think is going to come out of that bottomless pit, the abyss? Because the only thing that's in there is demons. What do you think these locusts are? It says they're not going to harm the grass of the trees like regular locusts, because these aren't regular locusts. What they are going to do, they're going to drive man insane by tormenting them mentally for 5 months. Demons are going to be turned loose on this earth during that time. More. You think it's bad now? Ooh, just imagine. And they will hurt man. They will torture man. They will cause men to go insane. There are no human souls in the abyss. It's only evil spirits. It's their jail, if you will. They're confined. They're holding tank. There's no human souls there at all. And never will be. Now, it's impossible to cover the last one in 3 or 4 minutes. But the last one is Gehenna, known as the lake of fire, which many times Jesus used Gehenna, talking about this lake of fire, but it was interpreted the word hell. So when Jesus, it talks about in the writings of the sayings of Jesus, and like the Gospels, it said, Jesus says something about hell. You have to check, is he talking about the lake of fire, or is he talking about Hades? Because they both are interpreted with the same word. Jesus used the word Gehenna to talk about this lake of fire. He used it as an illustration. Every Jew knew what Gehenna was, what went on at Gehenna, even in their day, but also in the past. This lake of fire is mentioned. Well, I'm just going to stop. Because if I don't stop, we won't get out of here before 12:30 or later. So y'all for me stopping, right? Okay. That is the past. Sheol, Hades, two divisions. The present is Hades, place of punishment, as the rich man talked about, fire, or heaven, the presence of God. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. You got two choices. Simple. But there's going to be another place that if you are in Hades, you will have no choice. You're going to the lake of fire. No second chance. Point I'm trying to make with all of this, even when we get through, this lake of fire is future. There's nobody there now. Jimmy. One day it's going to be filled to capacity. And in my mind, I can just imagine people in hell, Hades, which is a holding tank. Hoping, wishing. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're doing. I've never been there. I've never talked to anybody that's been there. But I'm just imagining in my own mind, they're tormented. Remember what the rich man said? Torments, plural, not just fire. But you know, someone there has to be hoping God is going to show us grace. God is going to let us go. This isn't going to last forever. They have some kind of hope that they're going to get out of that place or escape that place. But the truth is, if they're there, they're going to the lake of fire. I'm sure in Hades they have hopes. I'm sure standing before the judge at the great white throne, they'll have hope. He's going to let me go. He's going to let me into heaven. And then they'll be thrown into the abyss. Not into the abyss, into the lake of fire. And they will know. This is where I'm going to be forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I'll never escape. I'll never die. It'll never stop. There won't be a break. There won't be an easy time. This is what it's going to be for an eternity. Imagine if that was you. You're not getting out. You're not getting any relief. Forever. Here's my question. do you wish that on? Your kids? Your spouse? Your in-laws? Your ex? Your neighbor? Even people you don't know? Preacher, you don't know. What if I am right? What the Bible says, forever, without end. Where are you going to be? If you were to die right this minute, where would you go? I'm telling you, if you would go to Hades, your next place, destination is the lake of fire. Now we're going to heaven if you're right with God. Christ is your Lord and your Savior. We'll be there forever. And we can rejoice in that. But don't bother us that while we're rejoicing to be with Christ forever, people we know are going to be in the bottomless pit, or in the lake of fire, that equal amount of time. Who do you wish that on? The worst enemy? I wouldn't think so. Let's stand to our feet as they come to an invitational song.